to another Chart Nerd TA video. I'm currently diving into Bitcoin. I'm looking at the daily time frame at the moment, and you can see that, you know, since this death cross that you've had on the daily time frame, it looks quite scary, doesn't it? This all looks quite negative here, but it's not a position you haven't been in before. And I wanted to show you some patterns here that I do believe are happening currently. So what you can see is that you came down to this level of support here, and you had great buying pressure come in, and you've been, you know, trying to break out, but you've been hitting your head essentially on this 20. You haven't actually come up and tested it yet completely. Like, you haven't run into it like you did here. Look, you came into the EMAs and you got rejected. You came up to the EMAs, got rejected. You haven't come up to them yet, which is what I believe you're doing now. So essentially, could you be coming down to a level of support here and creating higher lows for yourself in an ascending triangle? And this key level of resistance is what you need to break out of. This level of resistance here. And this could be an ascending triangle, but it all depends. You could still roll here as well, and I'm going to look into the smaller time frames and show you why. You know, actually, let me give you a technical target first. If, say, for example, this was your low, and you're coming up now and you're looking for a higher low, wherever it may be. This isn't an exact trend line yet because we haven't had support, so this is a guesstimation. All right, but look, you've got this level of resistance here above yourself on the daily. And this is where I do believe you might be coming back down to this level of support, wherever it may be, and you get a higher low and start coming up, and this is your ascending triangle. You break out of that. You got a technical target, your first point of contact to the triangle, to the trend line, and you know, this is where your breakout target would sit. If you came up and broke this resistance, you'd be coming back up to this level of resistance here for yourself, where you was hitting your head, and you lost it. Right? So what you'd want to see Bitcoin do is come up, break this level of resistance wherever it may be, get above it, hold it as support, and retrace. That's what happens. If you find support, you come back up to the previous levels of contact where you fell from. So this was a resistance, fell to it. Support, resistance, lost it. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. You know, it's a game of resistance and support, basically. But that's what you want to see happen. You always, if you do start reversing here and create high lows, you always come back up to the points of contact that you fell from. And that's what you do in retracement. So that would be your technical target. Back up to this level of resistance that you fell from. You fall down, come back up to it. And that is where, if you came back and held this trend line of support, you'd get your breakout, break through that. And this up here would be your next technical target, which is the all-time high, as everybody knows. But again, it all depends on what happens here. It all depends on what happens. Potentially, what you could also say is going on. The bearish scenario to this is you've got this level of support for yourself here on the daily, right here. And this is depleting buying pressure, and you're coming down into some sort of descending triangle. Now, if you did lose this, you'd then therefore be in a technical target as well from there to about there, and you can see that what would happen is you're looking to come back down and fill this wicking with a candle. So you could be, you know, you ran into resistance here, ran into it again, lost it, you fell back to support, and now you're coming up and getting rejected. If you fall out of this level of support here, this is a descending triangle, and you are still rolling over, and this is your technical target back down here at the 42k mark, I do believe, for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So do watch this space, because if you do break out to the upside and get above these EMAs, these are key levels of resistance within themselves. If you get above those and start holding them, that's good for Bitcoin, and you know, this could potentially be where your double bottom is coming in with your ascending triangle, and you break out. So there's two potential plays here in my eyes. You know, you've got a bearish play, lose this support, go short. And you've got a bullish play, which is this ascending triangle. If you hold here, hold support, break out of this resistance, go long. So it's either short or long, depending. But this is what I mean. We need to look at the smaller time frames and see what's going on. So let me get into that currently. Clear these charts off quickly. Remove those drawings. Right, so you can see here on the 4 hour, you're literally ranging. Look, you've got this level of resistance above yourself on the 4 hour. And you've got this level of support, I do believe, is right around there. You know, Bitcoin's coming down to that level right now as we speak, I do believe, or it's wicked to it. So you are literally ranging, and this is basically accumulation. You know, you're coiling up. There's a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty within this particular pattern, or patterns of play that are going on here. The stock RSI is in the floor. The RSI is rolling over here. If you create a lower low in the RSI than this on the 4 hour, and you do potentially roll back down for support or create a nasty wick, you know, just like you did here, these are nasty wicks. If you get a nasty wick, if you do get a nasty wick and that rolls, and you create a lower low than this low here, and you get lower in the price action, higher low in the price action, this is where you've got a lower low in the RSI on the 4 hour, but a higher high in the price action, and that is called a hidden bullish divergence. So let me just clear that up and make that a bit. Yeah, so if you did come down to this trend line and got a bounce, you'd be creating a higher low. You see, so you got a low, a higher low, and here you get a low and a lower low, and that is called a hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour. It hasn't formed yet. As I said, Bitcoin kind of needs to hold support here. If it doesn't and it comes down and hits its head on this and gets rejected, this is where I do believe you're coming down to those technical targets, as I showed you, of this descending triangle here. So look, you come up in it. This is in the 4 hour descending triangle. Support, resistance, support, resistance, support. If you lose this support right now, you are in a technical target, my friends. I've mentioned to you, I think I showed you, as I said, back down to these levels where this wick is. And this is where I think you would fill in the candle. You'd fill in a candle here, roll up for support, bounce, roll back for support, sorry, and bounce. Because look, you came into this correction, support, roll back to it, bounce. And if you zoom out and see that, that's like a double W bottom pattern, right? Let's see what happened here. Level of support, so that you came up to it, you roll back to it for support again, bounce, double bottom pattern. Same thing that's going on here. If you come back to this for support, this wick, same thing. One more time to go over that, just to be, so you guys understand. Correction, rejection by EMAs, fall back to that rejection point, support, bounce. Rejection, come up to the EMAs, rejected, fall back to support, bounce. Double bottom, just like it did here as well. I mean, look at this as well. Look, you're ranging here. As I said, you're ranging, just like you did here. You was ranging for months. Look. This is accumulation. This is where fear everywhere. Fear. And then what happens? You break out. And this is a very similar pattern again. Look, you've got a bottom, rejection by the EMAs, fell back to it for support, bounce. W. Could we be seeing something very, very similar? I keep going over this in my previous videos as well. But that's showing us on the 4 hour. There's also a free valley pattern that I've seen some analysts use. Big up CoinSkid. And the guy that he found it from. But you've got this low down here, which is a valley, because you came into this valley here. You've got your second valley here, because you came into a valley. And right now you're on your third, because you're coming down into a valley. And that's the third valley. You got a level of resistance. And once you come up and tackle this level of resistance, these are your 3 valleys. And that's a bullish reversal pattern. It's called a bullish reversal pattern. Look it up. It's a 3 valleys pattern, right? And you've got your low, a low, a low, a high, a high. All you need to do now is come up and tackle this, create a higher high, and look, you're working lovely through these charts, lovely. And that's where you can see Bitcoin get its continuation up to those price targets. I think 106k I've got in is the 1618, I do believe, off this bounce. I think it is something like that. But guys, just watch this space here. It's looking amazing for Bitcoin. Honestly, these are great entry points. You are just going choppy sideways. You're literally just currently going choppy sideways between a level of support and resistance. Once you break out of that, it's fireworks, you know. If you break down, it's negative, and this is where you consider your place in crypto, especially if you start losing that 39k. So yeah, that's a little update on Bitcoin, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, from ChartNerd TA, peace out.